this exists.
You didn't know there were cyber athletes?
My hand to God, I didn't know there were but my issue is it's still not a sport.
Well, again,
it's a game.
31 million Americans watched eSports last year, up from fewer than 2 million in 2010.
It's the first sport that has gotten commercially successful outside of television.
In our definition, we consider a sport as an activity requiring physical exertion that can be organized into competitive play for entertainment. Multiple links can be observed between physical exertion and esports by analyzing an individual's metabolic rate and blood pressure. Metabolic rate has a direct connection to physical exertion, and from the article Changes in Blood Pressure Reactivity and 24-Hour Blood Pressure Profile Occurring at Puberty, studies have shown that basal blood pressure and metabolic rate has been raised while playing a video game. As for competitive play, Michael Blichardt says that judo and esports are not that dissimilar. There are tournaments. You have to climb up a ladder to eventually compete with the best. In terms of training, you have to put in the same amount of hours, perhaps even more in esports. You study strategy, technique, and opponents. All the elements are there: the excitement, the adrenaline, players crying tears of sorrow and joy.
Also, sports can be a form of play but can be labeled as work when it comes to the professional level. Traditionally, people have believed that video games is a form of play and can never be seen as work. However, as years pass, video games are starting to be viewed as work for many esport athletes, similarly to sports. Compared to playing a video game for entertainment, esport athletes are required to win in order to gain a sustainable source of income befitting of their quality of life. Winning becomes a mandatory condition that a player must fulfill. According to John Huizinga, play is intrinsic, meaning the reward is for personal benefit. On the other hand, work is seen as containing extrinsic motivation since it is conducted for material gain. By this definition, esports is seen as work since most esport athletes are in the industry for the reward and recognition and not for personal benefit. Because of all the things we mentioned, we believe that esports should be considered as a sport. Once esports is labeled as a sport, a number of benefits will come along the way. One immediate benefit from recognizing esport as an actual sport is the allowance of distribution of P1 visas to competitive gamers. The P1 visa allows foreigners to enter the United States to participate in athletic events. In order to apply for the P1 visas, the athlete must be internationally recognized in the sport for it to petition for a foreign athlete. Recognizing esports as a sport will allow more athletes to apply for these said visas and represent their team on an international level for pride, money, and recognition. Aside from the benefits of competing internationally, the title will also make processing the visas easier for foreign athletes. Previously, teams have struggled when requesting for visas since the idea of playing video games competitively was new for many people. Therefore, the reason was not seen as valid. However, allowing esports to become titled as a sport will make the transition to compete internationally easier, as well as giving opportunities for many international individuals to come to the US to work under a famous organization as a part of their team. Aside from the visas being remedied to become easier for international individuals to join the competitive experience for esports, recognizing esports as a sport will allow entrance into the National Collegiate Athletic Association. The NCAA funds many programs that provides many benefits to student athletes, which includes support for the individual's education through finance and protection. Once esports gains the title of a sport, esport athletes in a similar manner to present athletes can be recognized for their achievement. A way for the individuals to be rewarded would be through scholarships and grants. Two examples of these financial benefits include the Walt Byers Scholarship and Division I degree completion grants, which can both be used for tuition and textbooks.
Besides the multiple scholarships and grants the NCAA offers, the organization also provides health and safety measures for the student athletes. Programs that are enacted will cover for student athletes when injured during play, like the Catastrophic Injury Insurance Program and the Group Basic Medical Program. These options will provide financial aid to the student athlete when they are out of commission. One university that has taken the first steps in promoting esports as a collegiate sport is the University of California, Irvine. Along with the introduction of a new esports arena that houses multiple high-end gaming computers, the university has also taken steps to enforce their own set of ideals, also known as their 4 pillars: competition, academics, entertainment, and community. UCI has become an example of how esports can be feasibly integrated into the university environment.
In society today, sports tend to be restrictive by this overarching element of masculinity, that sports require strength and muscle, things that are inherently male. Esports is one of the very few sports that isn't naturally in favor of men, who typically have biological advantage in terms of physical strength. Esports necessitates mental strength, something that can be improved by both genders as neither has a biological advantage but are equal. This opens the door for women to get scholarships and is a great opportunity to be part of a collegiate sport. Women like Steph Harvey and Julia Chiron evince that men don't have an advantage when it comes to one's ability to perform in esports. Julia Chiron leads the top female esports team in the world. Julia agrees that in this field, women and men are equally capable, and thinks it would be cool to see something that males and females are working together on. Perhaps esports can catalyze further representation of women in collegiate sports.